My story of Purana Qila visit with my son. This is where it got started.
पता नहीं भैया that's it. We are here. But I am looking for a guide. If we get some guide to help us. This seems to be the entrance. There are multiple gates and they have a
So this is the biggest gate and the main entrance, which is towards from the zoo side when you enter in the Purana Qila after ticketing counter and all. And this is called Bada Darwaza. Seems to be made big enough to facilitate the movement of horses and individuals, so they can get in and out of this particular fort. Relatively neatly maintained. There are people who are continuously supporting this process of keeping the place in usable format for us. So here you see the details of Bada Darwaza, built by Sher Shah. So this whole Purana Qila has a story, and it is believed to be coming like from the Pandav's time. So they have some history talking about there is Indraprasth village was part of this area, and later on multiple ruler built place around that village. So here we are approaching the mosque, which is again built by Sher Shah, 1541. This seems to be the main attraction point because many of you who may visit Purana Qila may only end up visiting this mosque. We visited this place in the morning, so there were no one here, and I think if you are visiting in a summertime, it's good to visit it around 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. so you can enjoy the beauty of the place, and the heat is also not that high, and at the same time you don't face crowd. Seems to be this place is also famous for people just spending time and sitting and getting away, so it's a bit good to go in the morning so that you don't get mixed up with those particular kind of visitors. So here I am approaching Qila Kona Masjid. My son decides to take a rest now, and I was just exploring. Okay, this thing is mainly famous for the tomb. It has it seems to be well designed one. It's kind of an example of an architecture. You can imagine it's like 500-600 year old story thing. So the entrance gate, what you can see is, I really like the beauty of this particular architecture. They have used different stones to make it colorful. So like all these things which you see on the top is a different types of stones, or red, white stones are used to form a design, which seems to be not an easy job. Painting is an easy job, but painting will not survive for that long. And I took my binocular also along with me, and when I see it with the help of binocular towards the upper side of this architecture, it was beautiful. They have written something in there. I think it's a message from God or for God, but something is approaching, and you can see it's moving from white to red, and the whole thing is going very, very nicely. Let's get inside. Here also you see something which I probably relate to the message for the god, or the direction of a god as per their belief, and seems to be some messages and the beauty. So these messages are also carved in the stone, and if one can read them, they can still read it. And the stones, the blue color stone, navy blue color, gray stone, you see this particular part. So it's a different stone forming a design. So this was Pretty amazing for me, and I hope this message the God will hear from the king who has made it. Now, this dome structure, the is something like, think of making a big hall. So the biggest issue will be how do we make a roof of the hall. So these domes are a kind of an architectural example that how they can make a roof for such a huge structure in that time by just connecting different kind of stones and ultimately holding that thing at such a huge height. And they have some beautification and architectural stuff also done, or I would say the artistic stuff also done at the top part of this tomb. And you can see these symbols and all made with the help of stone. And you can, like, I was amazed to see how difficult it could be to form it at that precision level and create a symbols just by using different types of stone, cutting the stone, refining the stone, and then making it happen. So since it's a mosque, they also have a place to clean head, feet and hands. So, yeah, I was trying to call my son. Yeah. So here I suppose there must be a time where there was a water and people can clean their feet and hands before they go for a prayer in the mosque. So this is the another monument which has a significant importance, because it's believed that Humayun died in this particular small place, which was built, initially started by Babur and later on completed by Sher Shah, might be. And it's a two-story building believed to be used as a library by Humayun. And on 1556, when he was stepping down in hurry, after hearing the call for prayer, he fell down and then he finally died. So it's we were excited to go up in this particular space and see where exactly he fell, but yeah, it's blocked. We cannot go upside. We can just see it from the outside only. It's a small two-story building, but you never know what happens and when. So yeah, I was just exploring that if there is a way to get inside of this building. It's an octagonal building. Now you can see again the work of stone. Even in this small building, these symbols are still surviving. And they, for me, it was pretty beautiful.
But my possibility is that it's a small double-story building which may have a place to sit on the top. That's it.
Beautiful. The upper part, even it's a small structure, the stones, the combination of stones, the red and white stonework. This is the another discovery seems to happen in the recent time in 19s, when they were doing a discovery of this particular old fort and excavation. So this seems to be a place to take a bath, so they call it Hammam Khana, and seems to be having some arrangement of hot water and cold water, and like we can imagine that water might be flowing from this particular area and people might be taking a bath. Wherever I go, I usually find a guide to explain me at least the bathing part very well, that this is where the king used to take bath. But in this area, we could not find any guide, so we just made our own imagination. Small bricks, they are really old bricks, which were used at that time to build a structure for a nice bath for the ruler or the king who used to stay here. And I was also wondering where this king used to sleep. I can see where he took bath, I can see where he read the book, but seems to be no idea of where he might be sleeping in the night. So I imagine that part of the structure might got destroyed by the subsequent kings. and they might have used that place for something else. So it's not the whole fort where Humayun or Sher Shah lived. It's just a part of it, and maybe few less important building the next subsequent ruler left, and they might be more interested in something which were giving them enough material to use. So that's what I can imagine. So the exterior part of that Hammam Khana. Maybe they left the Hammam Khana because it was not that important for them, and maybe left the mosque because it was of a religious importance. But yeah, good part of the fort, I imagine, is no more there. And this is the place where they found some ancient time artifacts. As I said, that it's believed that this area was inhabited since the Mahabharata times, 3000 BC and before, and then Pandav's village was in this area only. So the archaeological department has just protected the area where they found some artifacts. So this is the place where they found some artifact. Many of these artifacts are visible in the archaeological museum, which is towards the entrance gate of this Purana Qila. So we will also show you a glimpse of those areas and artifacts. So it has a history before Sher Shah. So from 1500 onwards, maybe a Sher Shah has a role, and Babur also started some part of this area, because seems to be it was a inhabitant area. There was having some structures, and the rulers who were occupied the city wanted to do something by using it. It also has a small bauli, a water tank, which was again later discovered. It has a place, there is an arrangement where the water is covered so that it doesn't get spoiled because of winds and other stuff. Various steps going inside. There is still some dirty water in this bauli. It's closed, we can't just take the steps and go inside, but it's good to see that the city, it was a small village city fort, so they had their water arrangement, and that's why I was wondering that they must be having their sleeping arrangements as well, but rather than water arrangement only. So there must be something to sleep, eat, and do the regular day-to-day work, but so we can only see what is available, and rest is imagination, at least for me. So after visiting the Bauli, it's time to see the gates. So there are 3 gates. We entered through the Bada Darwaja, and now this is the Humayun gate, believed to be built by Sher Shah only, but it is named as a Humayun gate. It's in the southern part of it. It opens towards the zoo area. So if someone is watching the Purana Qila from zoo, they may end up watching his Humayun gate. These gates are very nice, huge. The best thing is that they have some supporting structures where probably the soldiers and the horses and other might be staying to protect the entrance part of these gates.
This one is like multi-story darwaja.
My son somehow managing.
Darwaja lower floor and darwaja upper floor. Over. It seems to be very sophisticated stuff. This is lower floor of darwaja, which is closed temporarily by the Muslim government. This part is closed. You want to see what is visible from here? Let me also see.
So returning back from the Humayun Darwaja towards the center side, I just wanted to show you that it's pretty well maintained park, and if you want to visit in early in the morning, you won't regret coming, because you end up hearing a lot of birds, and it's nice weather. So pretty well maintained complex. Now north gate, This is towards the little far from the other structures. Not many visitor comes towards this site, so it's more peaceful. And again, it's kind of a double-story gate. I believe the Humayun Darwaja and this Talaki Darwaja, the north gate, both are double-story. And they had like the upper story was little more carved well, so maybe used by the important people, and maybe some goods and other things might be passing through the lower part of the Darwaja. One can also take a walk and go further in these sides. It's pretty peaceful environment. You don't have many people hanging around, probably in the morning. I don't know what happens after 10 a.m. Because we were visiting it in the morning. Now this is the museum I was talking about. Here they have kept many of the artifacts which they got from excavation in areas around this place, and there are pots and pans which might be used by Mughals, and before that there are Ashoka era's products, there are Maurya's artifacts as well. So the whole thing is that it helps us in knowing that this Purana Qila area, old fort, many they also called Pandav's Qila also, it's a Mahabharat based thing, is something which might be holding the history of more than 3,000 years. And some of that history is known with the help of these small artifacts. And yeah, you can see a Gupta period artifacts as well, which got discovered in the surrounding areas. So ruler keep coming and going. Some area got used, some area got reconstructed, some area got destroyed. Some map of Delhi. So Delhi is a cities of cities. So this like Mehrol is the another city, the Red Fort is the another city, the Purana Qila is the another city, the Firozshah Kotla is the another city. So it's a cities of cities. So do visit, make good use of this place, and try to be in the morning, because later on it might be too hot for your adventure.